Hey everybody, Adam from Atlas Gunworks. Alright, first video in the mag tuning series. We're going to pile SV mags here, and we got to make sure they drop free from the gun. So that's the very first thing I do, because sometimes that gets a little violent. This one's got a little sticky, but for the most part it drops free. Now, keep this in mind. The Evo grip versus, so the PT Evo grip versus the plastic grip versus an SV grip versus whoever else. There's the regular PT grip. There's other grips out there, CK. They're all a little bit different angle in here, and that's going to matter on the tubes. There's not a lot of clearance there, so different ones might need some adjustment, but the system's kind of all the same on how you do it. Keep in mind that if you have old STI guns or STI guns, the SV tubes often don't fit in here without a frame cut. So this is more for the premium guns. Our guns, I don't know who else is doing those the relief cut in the frames, but all our guns will take a SV tube. This system, we have another video out that predates this that talks about the mag tubes, but this system also works for the old style STI tubes. So SV old style STI, and the tuning on those is almost identical. So anyway, this one's not so bad. We'll be okay here. We'll find some that don't go. So this one's tight. It drops free, but it goes in tight. That's one kind. That one's not bad. This one's not bad. Well, this one won't drop free. Now sometimes they won't even come up into the mag wall 3/4 of the way. So what do we do now? Well, we're going to start to figure out where it doesn't go. And the beauty of this is that the metal will have witness marks here. So I see, and I used to do this in a vise, and now I do a lot more with just the hammer with the nylon tip side. So I've got a witness mark here and a witness mark here. Little investigation. Now I know where to look, but it's going to be a lot in this front section from here to here. So I'm just going to hit this in those two spots and see what happens. I think it's a little better. Now I'm getting a witness mark. So I almost always start with this front side because that's almost always where the issue is. We're close. Now oftentimes, too, you'll see that this top part's too wide, and as you come up into the frame, there's a hiccup as it kind of. And so what you're doing is just looking to see where stuff rubs. Now, if you're afraid to do this, the safe method. Again, I do it so much that I don't have to do this very often, but this is the safe method. On your workbench, you should always have one of these fat Sharpies. Blue is the best color, I think. So let's just get the front worked out. There's going to be potentially some tuning over on here, but actually, while we're here, I think that's probably rubbing right there a little bit. The SV tubes, which in the fall of 17 still our favorite tube, always they must clamp them right here. They have a little deal right there that you're gonna need to deburr that on a wheel or with a Dremel. But I do like to get them to drop free before I take that step. Alright. Just run it in and out a couple times. See what we're seeing. Alright, so here's some drag marks. That top one, you don't want to flatten that out too much because some of that's just the way it comes in, the angle. It's there you go. I don't love this one. Looks like we're right here. We've got just a little bit of contact maybe. Now I want that to come up and fall down on its own. So what's happening is it's sticking when it's all the way up. So you don't have to hit that tremendously hard, and we don't want it to be wavy for sure. Just a little bit of stick. Now sometimes this is over. So work this one side. Alright, so we're not getting progress there, so let's go back to the marker here. Let's see if it's this front side. I'm going to show you a cool trick here in a second. None of this is rocket science, and if you do it a bunch of times and you just get comfortable with it, it's not super hard. So I've got the mag in the gun. I know it doesn't quite drop free the way I want. So wiggle it front to back and left to right. There's a left to right movement, no front to back movement. So that would almost always tell you that it needs some front to back adjustment. So take it out. And what that's doing there is telling me to keep looking in the front and stop messing with the sides. Now remember, as you hit the sides or the front, you're moving it the other direction. So if I bang on the side here, I'm going to bow the front up. But see, we're pretty violent right there. Just one little bump in that system where you come in and you feel it drag right here, and I'm wiggling it, and it's probably not a front to back issue. Let me click it. No, it is. So even though we're dragging right here, it fits really nice till we get here. So we know this is probably on the lower side of this. So you're always going to have some drag marks there. There you go. So we're getting closer. And, again, you're going to have some drag marks. Now, if you went this far and it was having problems, then we know it's definitely up in the top. But there we go. Mag goes in, mag comes out. Mag goes in, mag comes out. That's how we need them to fall that well. Now remember, as this hits the ground or whatever, you could have to retune them a bunch, but that's pretty much how they go. We'll try a couple more here. See if we can't find one that's really bad. I don't know. This one's not good, but it's not really bad. Now this one's pretty hard. So on this one, let's just skip the step here. Let's assume it's down on the bottom of the other one. Now, if you get a set and they were made at the same time, or buy them together, the problems are probably in the same spots. Most likely, not always. That made it worse. Alright, so now we're in here. I have some front to back, and I don't like my left to right. So this is probably bound up top. And again, I kind of know where to do it, but if you witness these, and you can take the marker and do the whole thing really, but you'll see where they're dragging. We don't want crazy drag marks, where it looks like it's really peeling the, when it rubs, it's going to be nice and smooth, and you want a consistent thing there, but you'll see where the bad spots are. So still just a little bit. I don't like the front to back here, but there's some, so now we're trying to eliminate that as the problem, and I think, see, now we definitely have eliminated that. So I'm pretty sure this is hitting up top, and you can come up here at the top and just see. So when I push this up here, you'll feel a little resistance when it goes over the mag catch. Hold the mag catch open, then that resistance goes away, right? And we just push it up here. And we just what is it dragging on? What's it dragging on? This one drags really heavy on the mag catch. Oh, here you go. You can see it. Right? So this is a little, tube's a little skewed this way. So we're just going to give it a little relief. It doesn't take much, and you'll start to see that look a lot better. So does this mag work? Yeah. But see, it's just a little bit clunky. That clunkiness, I don't like it. So we're just going to keep working it. Now, why is that dragging? Well, the front might have been a little flat. So as we work this front out, it bows out. Now you can't really control which side it's going to bow to. It's going to go one way or the other. So you got to just watch these kind of sides. All right, so this tube's really good. Drags just a little bit. Right at that tail end. Now it's perfect. So take your time, use the marker until you kind of get the system down. And then you can always do it, and you can do it with the slide off too, so you can see a little bit more. You know, this one clicks in there super nice. Actually, that one's rough, but. So again, now it's fighting me. And you put them in a bunch of times, kind of like I'm doing. There's a, things change a little bit as you're doing this, so you really want them to go. Now, I'm building in some relief. There you go. That's what we want. Make sure it does it both slide up and slide down. So, now I'm going to go back and see that this one's dragging just a little bit on my mag. Make an adjustment there. Now, if things are crazy, if you're seeing, it be an insane, drag mark every time, maybe the mag catch needs to go like that. So 10 seconds, we'll just pull this out. And yeah, I got a little bit of a burr on that mag catch. Now, unfortunately, this is the gun I'm shooting. This is one of our sight block prototype guns, which is super cool. But my gun gets all the mags tested in it. This one has a more, so let's say you buy a PT Evo grip, right? They're not all the same internally. These mags drop from this gun. You could have one that's tighter or one that's looser. This gun tends to run on the tight side of those internal dimensions. So that's why we use this one to, I always try to run a gun with a tighter grip than everybody else's. Just so that, when we test the mags, if they work in mine, they should work in everybody else's. So I'll clean that up a little bit, and then that'll stop dragging on there, and you'll see how much cleaner it is. So hang on 1 second, and I will do that. Alright, back. So that's all rounded out now real quick. Just did it on a wheel. Now, one thing to keep in mind with all the gun tuning stuff is we have metal on metal contact a lot in firearms. Let's smooth that up a little bit. Smooth that one up. This one drags just a little bit. Oh, we haven't tuned that one yet. So we'll tune that one next. So metal on metal contact, sometimes things don't go just as we planned, and you'll start to see burrs, sharp edges. You never want a sharp edge. So whether you're using a file or a little quick sandpaper, or caution you to use Dremels, but something like that, then get rid of those sharp burrs. So anytime you see something sharp, it's going to cut the other metal. Putting grooves in metal makes things not smooth, not consistent, bad. Same thing with this, this whole system. So, for example, we've got a little bit of a sharp edge right here. I'll put this on a wheel and take that off. I don't want that groove's just gonna become worse and more of a drag. Everything we want to be smooth and slick. We want everything to just work as flawlessly as it can. So this is the first part of the video, and or the first video, I guess, in the part 1 of the series, and we'll do parts 2 through 5 coming up here soon. We'll see you on the range soon.